the main objectives what the country has itself, it does not change. The population is mostly everybody is supporting join in NATO or support these democratic values. It doesn't matter what government will be in charge. Tam support dia Shevardnadze or Saakashvili. And I can say that even now, if we will accept, if somebody will be chosen as the president of Georgia who will be pro-Russian, I can say that he will have a big problems because the population will not support him. Because it is a sequence of the events that happened in our relationship, and we lose the nation itself. They lose credibility to the Russia.
I just want to put things in a broader perspective as well, and I think some of the international community, particularly NATO and the United States, have made a lot of contribution to this ongoing conflict and tensions between Georgia and Russia. And I truly believe that Russia has every single reason to be worried about NATO's expansion because, you know, there have been a number of violations of promises given to Russia about non-expansion and so on and so forth, particularly after 1999 bombings of Kosovo and then 2003 invasion of Iraq that demonstrated very clearly that NATO and the United States would not give it a second thought of using military force even without United Nations Security Council resolution. It was in 1999 when NATO went to Yugoslavia, started bombing Yugoslavia's Bosnian Serb forces, when the Russian strategists, military analysts, reconsidered, rethought its strategic defense and nuclear posture. That was that kind of the cardinal change in Russia's thinking about security environment around the country, its threats, and so on and so forth. And I think hadn't it been for those kinds of military operations and lack of cooperation and willingness to listen to or kind of assuage Russia's concerns about the possibility of using military force in limited warfare, because Russia has some tensions, and at that point it had ongoing war in Chechnya. So it did lead the Russian strategists and political military establishments to believe into the possibility that if NATO comes anywhere close to Russia's border, it will have no qualms whatsoever about using force against Russia in limited warfare. So I'm just trying to kind of, again, think on behalf of the Russian government, so to say, and explain. I mean, there are concerns, and there are valid concerns, I believe.
All the propaganda is about the ongoing situation between Georgia, Russia, NATO, United States, is that this is one of the methodology of the Russians that was before in Soviet Union, is that to shift people's attention from the social economical problem to the other. This is the point. What threat could be from the NATO, or what threat could be coming from the Georgia? This is from the tiny country. This is very small country without any nuclear capabilities or anything. But this is the way, you know, somehow to shift the attention from the major problems that is in Russia now, the social economical, to the other, because the last public poll showed that inquiry showed that the propaganda is working well now in Russia. The question was who is the biggest enemy for the Russia, and guess who took first place? Georgia. Georgia with the 3 million population, maybe.
The second was
United States.
With 29.
We took gold medal.
Can I make some comments about issue of pipeline?
Excuse me, I have a question. Could you please, sorry, what kind of inquiry was that? Who questioned whom?
The survey.
There have been a series of polls, and depending on the data, of those polls, you can go to.
I'm sorry, I want Mr. Vice President to answer me. Sorry, really sorry.
Every year there's a
I'm sorry that I'm so scrupulous about data, but
2007, there was the entire public, and the results we are shown in internet.
hold by whom and where?
Fond общественное мнение.
What kind of fund is that?
This is Russian foundation.
Yeah, but there are many foundations in Russia. Which part of country, like they questioned or whatever? I have no idea what kind of foundation is that.
You know, I can send you the link.
Oh yeah, yes.
Could you please give me so I can
Yeah,
forward?
sure.
You can go through the Google and so you can
Yeah.
So we got a Georgian and
I hope
Russian
it's
here.
a reliable source.
Sorry?
I hope that is a reliable source.
Okay, well, as the United States representative here, I'm going to talk about pipelines. Okay, you just said that Georgia is a very small country in the face of Russia, but you also made the point earlier that Georgia is also an important alternate export route for Caspian Basin oil. And of course, the Caspian Basin extends east and west side of the Caspian, and Uzbekistan and Turkmenistan and Kazakhstan are all part of this basin. And a couple of things that I think tend to get blurred together that might be useful to clarify a little bit about the pipelines. For one thing, one of the points of speculation about the Russian-Georgian conflict is that Russia wanted to be sure to flex its muscle and show, hey, if we wanted to stop this BTC, the Baku-Tbilisi-Ceyhan pipeline, which was a United States-supported project, and Russia has never liked this pipeline in its backyard because it challenges Russia's control of the oil and gas exports towards Europe. So some people speculate that this is one of the reasons why the conflict was over who's controlling the oil and gas exports. It's often overlooked, though, that the pipeline was already not in operation. During the time of the conflict, it had actually been shut down in Turkey due to some, the PKK, the Kurdish rebel movement, had already caused it to be shut down, so it was inoperative anyway. So nobody blew up the pipeline, made it stop, and stopped the oil and gas, at least not related to the Russian and Georgian conflict. But a few other things that we need to pay attention to is that the BTC pipeline is about to become a lot more important because there's the Kashagan field, which is controlled by Kazakhstan, and they're thinking that that's going to be the optimal route for its oil exports towards Europe, was to put it through the BTC pipeline. It's important to keep these pipelines running at a good capacity level. It makes them more monetarily feasible. But we also have to keep in mind that Russia is renegotiating its purchase agreements with all the Central Asian states. It's now offering to purchase oil and gas at low prices.